upstairs.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. So here we are back in this shithole. Fucking shithole we are in. Oh.
Horrible surroundings here.
I mean, forgive me. Suffering a little bit of PhD.
PhD.
Post-holiday stress disorder. That's not stress. Stress doesn't start with a D.
I think you made that one up.
Yeah, no. Do you have a PhD? Or do you suffer from PhD?
I do not have a PhD, and I don't think I suffer from it either.
Okay, no. I kind of suffer from PhD. It's a made-up thing.
Yeah.
Post-holiday disorder. PHS it should be. Post-holiday stress. Post-holiday
I read an article.
depression.
PhD. I read an article about
depression.
this, and maybe it's that. I read an article years ago about that.
What did they say?
God, I don't know. It's been so long ago. But it had something to do with, when you come back to the office, how just what was already difficult becomes a lot more difficult because you just get into this funk about having to return to.
I mean, I'm feeling it. I was on holiday. I was in Slovenia and then Croatia, and now I'm back, and I was depressed. I felt it creeping on like days before even leaving Croatia.
So you were having trouble enjoying the last days of your vacation because you were already imagining the future back here at your job.
That's right. It was
in these horrible surroundings.
I can't say that they were ruined. They weren't ruined, but I could feel it creeping on, this post-holiday depression. So anyway, guys, we're talking about post-holiday depression.
Hey, everybody.
My name's Ben, Craig.
Hey.
And this is the little channel that couldn't. And yeah, there aren't many of you left, those who haven't subscribed. So if you are one of the few that haven't, please subscribe to our channel.
Yeah.
We want to conquer the world. We want everybody in the world subscribed.
Yeah. We're close. 21, I think. Do we have 21, 22? I don't
20,
know.
21.
No, I think 21. Wow. Okay. All family.
Yeah. We're talking million or billion here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Or just 21.
Yeah, God.
Hi, Craig's mom.
Hey. Yeah. Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom and Dad.
Do you suffer from PhD?
My mom just came back from holiday.
Really? Where was she?
Yeah.
Where were you?
She was in Florida.
Florida.
She was in Florida. I'm visiting family and friends.
Never been to the States.
You've never been to the States? You haven't. You're right. That's right. I've been to Australia twice. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Never my neck of the woods.
But I didn't suffer from post-holiday depression because I was there working.
Okay. It was work. It was a work trip.
Yeah, but I had some free time there too, so it did feel.
Okay. A bit of a holiday. You got to have a little bit of a break.
Yeah. All right, so
that can make a difference too. If you're traveling for work, you probably don't get post-holiday depression because it's not really a holiday. It's just life, and especially if you're this person that has to do that all the time. Then also, here's one thing that I want to ask you, because you've lived in paradise, I've lived in paradise. When you come back from a holiday, did you suffer from post-holiday depression?
I don't know if you know, when I put down my cup there, it was something you said, it gave me a thought. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking about my life beforehand was very different, right? Because I used to travel all the time, like all around the world, and I got to see cool places, couldn't really enjoy them as if I was on vacation because I had to work. We got some time to look around. Yeah. But coming home was always like going on holiday. So like you'd be away maybe for even a few weeks or even more, sometimes 40 days, and just, oh God, thank God I get to go home. Mm-hmm. So going back home for me was always not working.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say,
it was not working. So when I was home, I wasn't working. I mean, I have to practice, but I'm home,
How depressing could life be if you lived in a shithole?
For real.
And you were coming back and you had to spend your free time in a shithole and not like, at a nice Italian beachside town or something.
And there was that. You asked that question. Okay, when I would go on holiday. Yeah. When I lived in Milano, I lived in a nice neighborhood, but it was still a city, and you'd come back and it would feel different. Mm-hmm. But then when I moved to the seaside, so for the 20 people who don't know the Italian Riviera, it was a really pretty place, right? Mm-hmm. My friends would come visit. It's like, they would say, do you feel like you're on vacation all the time? And partially a little bit, but obviously you have life stuff that you have to do. So when I would come home, it felt different. I'd go on vacation and coming home, it's like, well, I'm going home to the seaside anyway.
Right.
And it would feel more difficult if I knew I'd have to leave quickly to go on another tour. But if I had a week home before I'd have to go out on tour again, I didn't have any kind of what do we call it?
Holiday depression, PhD.
Yeah, post-holiday depression. Because it was like, okay, I'm in this pretty seaside town. Sure, you're not maybe at a beach resort where people are cooking for you and things like that, but so it wasn't so bad. I mean, how do you suffer it? I mean, when you're here, is it hard? Are your first days back harder?
They are. I mean, we've put this video off quite a bit. I mean, we missed a bit because of my holiday, and then because of weather we missed a bit because we were short-staffed. I think we're coming up on almost 4 weeks since we posted our last video.
Oh,
that's right.
My goodness. So our growth rate is slowing down.
I'm sorry, everybody. I apologize. I'm suffering from PhD now, so I'm just going above and beyond and just getting in there and making the video. But no, so before I say anything like that, I would say I grew up in paradise.
Yeah, what was it?
It was called the Sunshine Coast.
The Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, Coolum Beach on the Sunshine Coast, nice. Queensland, Australia.
Yeah.
A little beach town with not much going on. It was midway between two real touristy areas where people from all over the world would come and want to see the Sunshine Coast. They would either go to Mooloolaba or Noosa.
Okay.
And I lived right in the middle between the two. And we would spend our weekends at these places anyway, just for fun, like cruising around, whatever, swimming there.
You lived where other people would go on vacation.
That's right.
Yeah.
We'd spend our Sundays at like bars in these areas, hanging out, chilling, having a few drinks and a laugh with friends. That's what we would do. In my adult life there, never went on holiday.
Yeah.
I would have weeks off of work, but I would just stay. That thought never even crossed my mind to like go somewhere. And it's not that I'm sad. I at the time was aware that my place was so beautiful. I just thought that was normal. I was like, no, you just relax and enjoy the time off work.
Yeah, I'm okay with stay vacation, right?
Yeah.
What they call it?
A staycation.
Staycation.
Like that. You just don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to get up early for work. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to put your big steel cap, smelly work boots on.
For sure.
You just wear flip-flops or go barefoot for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So I never went on holiday up until the age of like 26 or 27 when I moved here. I just didn't do it.
Yeah.
I know as a kid my parents would take my brothers and sisters and I to like Rainbow Beach or other beaches nearby.
Yeah.
But that was about it. We wouldn't fly anywhere. We wouldn't go anything like crazy. It was just up the road a bit and that beach for a little while. Now that I live in Vienna and I return back to Vienna, and I'm being super honest here, I'm not the biggest fan of city life.
Okay.
Not even though Vienna is, they say, one of the best cities to live in.
It is a pretty city.
It is. I can't compare it to too many.
And we can't say our work environment is so...
Yeah, shithole. Shithole. Nah, I mean, there's this. This is okay. I've talked about this in some of my videos on my channel. This is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I'm pretty lucky for this. But the city itself, I guess all cities, they smell a bit like piss and all that stuff.
Yeah, but my
and
God,
I'm
going to defend Vienna a little bit, but wow, but it is so clean compared to some other cities.
Maybe a few hundred years ago it smelled like Mozart's piss.
Mozart's piss. I want to start a band and I want to call it that. What's the name of your band? Mozart's piss,
right? Yeah.
That's brilliant. I love it.
So, genius piss.
It smells like genius.
Piss of a genius, right? Musical genius. That's what his parents said when he wet the bed at 7. They were like,
it smells like a symphony.
They're like changing the sheets going, I found my Mozart.
And if you think this smells good, you should smell his shit.
It's
an opera.
Stink,
it's an opera.
They smell like flowers, that. So we got a bit sidetracked there. But that cheered me up a little bit, that laugh after this PhD. But no, I really think this is a real thing. You get depressed, you start thinking, why is my life here? Why is this? I started thinking, I could set up something on Croatia. I went to the island of Krk. Not to be confused with Cook Island. There is no Cook Island in Croatia. KRK is the way you spell that island's name. And I thought, I'll buy land there. I'll have a little business, like a winter storage for boats or something. I started thinking the grass could be greener anywhere but here. That's part of this depression thing, I guess. And it's not how I normally live my life. I'm usually pretty positive, but after coming back from holiday, this kicked in a little bit. I was like, what else can I do? Yeah. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts?
Yeah, you live in Vienna now too, this shithole.
Yeah, jeez.
when you come back from holiday and you're back here,
I don't go on holiday much.
No.
The only holidays when I lived in Italy, I would go on, I think, more holidays, especially when I was married. We'd go on like proper holidays. I had more money then, I think, too, you know, so. But here I go visit, once a year I go visit my parents back in America, which is nice. It's a family thing. I'm back in a country where I speak the language a hell of a lot better than I speak German. And, you know, I go see friends, I see my family, so it's always a little hard to come away when you're, you know, with your family that you don't see enough. Yeah. But I wouldn't say the return is because I have to go to Vienna. It's a little harder because I'm saying goodbye to all my family and the place where I grew up.
Yeah.
But coming back, and yeah, like I said, you know, coming back here, it is really pretty. But what's that? Parts. Parts are really pretty. I think some of the things that you said, though, now, that feeling that you talk about when the vacation's coming to an end, you know, me with my mindfulness, I do that a lot less than I used to. I remember when I was growing up as a kid, Sunday for me was just like that. It was that feeling, it was like a monkey on my back, that tomorrow I have to go to school. I remember feeling that weight. Now, I'm not saying that thoughts like, oh God, the weekends, well, it's not even that big of a deal. But whenever thoughts like that come up, where I'm thinking about, oh, I have to go back to work, I just notice them, right? And they seem to kind of
feel them.
Seriously,
be aware of them.
Be aware of them. You just say, oh, there's that thought of wanting to go back, you know, and then they tend not to.
And then you go and eat
multiply.
some vegan food.
And then you go, some vegan food. And similar to that. They tend not to multiply. They tend not to multiply if you do that. Kind of, you know, shine. They're like cockroaches. If you shine the light of awareness on it, they will kind of.
That was like a
big caterpillar
or something. You know,
well, but they're like not caterpillars, but like cockroaches. If you shine the light of mindfulness on it, they kind of just scatter away. Yeah, so I think that helps whenever I'm on vacation. So I don't usually tend to, you know, think, oh God, you know, I'm going. But I used to do that a lot more, for sure. But when I get back, I don't know. I think there's part of it now also where I noticed that I might not get as excited about a vacation as well, because I always have this feeling that, you know, things start, they end. So, you know, I'm going on vacation. I know that I'll be back here really soon. So this is kind of knowing that things just come and go, that impermanence, right? So in a certain sense, maybe I don't even get as excited about it, but it's I don't know, just take it for what it is. I enjoy it while I'm there, and I know I'm going to be back. That's not helpful, is it?
No. But I had a bit of an epiphany, a bit of a breakthrough about an old colleague who I thought was a bonehead. Yeah. And another colleague was about to leave and have a baby. Okay. And we all wrote on a card for this colleague. And
I heard about this.
And this one colleague, I'll call him Magic Mike.
Magic Mike.
That's what I used to call him here too. Everyone laughed. I called him Magic Mike. Yeah. Man, he could dance. And that's our time up. But we're going to finish this story, and we can say goodbye and whatever else. I'm sure we have lots more to talk about. But if you want more, please comment and let us know you want more, and we'll make that happen. Mum. Craig's mum, not my mum, but Mum, why aren't you subscribed yet? Magic Mike, he wrote in the card like, "This too shall pass." And I thought, what the hell, man? That's usually like a condolence message that you would say.
Yeah, that was probably the wrong time to say it.
It was probably the wrong time to say it, but it's like, you know,
it makes sense though.
Grab onto the moment, enjoy it, because it will pass. Yeah. You know, make the most of it.
I mean, that's the trick.
Be excited. Don't be not excited about
seriously,
this. It will pass.
And I'm going to add this last little piece of Buddhist wisdom.
Do it.
One of the causes of suffering is to see things that are impermanent as permanent, right? Because we want things that are impermanent to be permanent. Yeah. And that attitude causes suffering. So to be able to see the impermanence in things and accept the impermanence of things, it alleviates suffering. Oh, wow.
And it's a human thing that when something bad is going on, you think it's never going to end too.
It always does.
You think this is never going to end. Yeah. My life.
Even our bad moods, our anger pass, and our good moods pass as well. Everything does.
You know what? We're never going to get 22 subs. Never.
Never.
We're going to be stuck on 21 subs.
Yeah.
We're going to call our channel 21 Sub Street.
Actually, that might be some permanence.
Yeah, there's some permanence
We're
in that
permanently stuck at 21.
So, thanks for watching,
Everyone, bye-bye.
guys. See you in the next
Later,
one.
dude.
Oh,
Boom.
see you, Craig.
Oh. All right.
That was good.
All right, I'm going to grab this chair.